I knew one was coming. I just didn't expect it to be that intense. I expected one of your lazy ones like you've been doing up until now. But I guess after I've roasted you about it so hard last week, you had to bring out something special. Something.
Absolutely.
What's gonna wow him? What's gonna fucking dazzle him and leave him in shock?
Got to bring in the wow factor. So I've pulled out the big guns, the Kermit trombone. That's what we're going for here.
Kermit trombone. Wouldn't that be a little weak, weedy one? I would thought the Miss Piggy trombone would be a bit fucking bit thicker,
Jesus. God dang. Yeah, I think that would probably be definitely got more meat on its bones. Welcome to NULLSCORE, a podcast where you can't even target our sponsors in an expose video about your egregious attacks on Twitter because joke's on you. We don't have any sponsors. My name is Hamish, and this is my co-host, Jamila Jamil. Have you started filming for the new Good Place season yet?
That show has finished, and also I don't know which person that is on that show. I don't know who that is.
Jamila Jamil is the British woman who went on a big big SJW
the brown chick
tirade.
She's like light brown, but she's still a brown chick, isn't she?
Yes,
I think she is. I've only seen a few episodes. Well, I mean, what? There's nothing wrong with that.
Fair enough, I guess. But yeah, she's very, very good. She's a very smart woman, and anyway, I just thought it was fun because it's two J names, and I was like, yep.
Well,
two JAMs,
and also calling me a woman too. Like it's just it.
This is the kind of multi-layered attacks that you need.
It's okay
when you come on NULLSCORE.
I've still got a few. I've still got a few in that document. I've got some more to add.
He's got a couple of rounds in the revolver yet. He's sitting here. He's like, "Yep, still got the Harold Holt one."
Plus, I feel like I got
the Hannibal Lecter.
I feel like I got one over you here because I had to fix that "an" before expose.
That's true. Yeah, we edit the scripts a little bit beforehand, and grammar is obviously of the utmost importance.
Yes, we have to make sure that the two people who are ever going to view this document, we have to make sure that everything's perfect for just for us and no one else.
So it doesn't hurt us. Yeah, it doesn't hurt our eyes. But today we are, as usual, coming in here very well thought out beforehand. We had a plan laid out weeks ago. And we have a great idea as to what topics we're discussing today. James, we've done all the research. If there was research to be done, we've done it. We did.
By that you mean research. I watched all of Gundam's videos on this bullshit? Then yes,
yes. So we watched a few videos and we put a couple dot points down. There's a couple of things that I think probably want to talk about. Because it kind of goes a little bit beyond just recent events. And you sort of see that with the way that people have been reacting more recently. And that's this business about going after sponsors. Or I suppose more generally just attacking the wallet, I guess. As a way of these beefs or attacks evolving between content creators. Most recently, of course, we saw... Or the most blatant example we saw was... the H3 against Keemstar.
Yeah,
debacle.
That was bigger, definitely bigger.
Yeah, because we had the H3 drop what he referred to as the content nuke, which I thought was very derivative of the content cops of old that iDubbbz used to do.
Yeah.
Now, of course, interesting video. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of things about Keemstar in there that I didn't know that he did, or I'd forgotten. For instance, I vaguely remembered the whole Basherverse debacle. It was interesting to get a reminder about that. I knew about the old bloke playing RuneScape and the pedophilia accusations.
So you probably know more about the Keem and H3 one than me. I just knew that it happened, but I don't know much of the details. I'm more obviously because I'm a Gundam fan, so I watch.
Yeah, okay, so you're more across the Pokey Gundam thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm so tired of talking about Pokemon, but because I watch Gundam, I can't avoid it. I'm like, oh great, another fucking week we're going to be talking about this thing.
It's like the gods have descended and come and given you the gift of Pokemon once further.
Oh, great.
So yeah, we had two events very recently where sponsors were effectively brought into the mix. We had a scrap with Pokemon and Gundam, and that sort of got a fair bit of traction because it's Pokemon and people love to hate on Pokemon, and Gundam is, I think for Gundam's fan base, he's very much like he's a bastion of reason. He's very much a common sense kind of like get over it sort of dude. So I think it caused a lot of issues because some of the takes there all got mixed up, and we'll talk about that a little bit more, right? But after that, we then had the content nuke drop from H3 with Keemstar, and it basically formed a bit of an expose video explaining all these horrible things that Keemstar had done, over Twitter and the internet recently. Keemstar then responded, and then there was a response from H3 called, I think it was like Nuclear Fallout or something like that, or Content Fallout, where it was like a response to Keemstar's response, because that's how YouTube drama works nowadays. And then we're sort of left in this position where people are talking about whether it's ethically responsible to go after sponsors or to go after the wallet after we've seen these couple of examples. And you sort of see I think the majority is in the camp and that it's not okay, but we're starting to see differing opinions. And that's sort of what we're having as a launching point today.
Well, I mean, I don't think so. I feel like I might be jumping ahead here for a sec, but just picture it this way: like, say, clothing brand you don't like. So, well,
right.
clothing brand you do like. Just say, like, for whatever reason, you're fucking Rivers. Stuck in the 80s like me, and you're like, Nike. Yeah, Rivers. Okay, then go with Rivers, you fucking dad model.
Seeing as how I'm bloody taking selfies for comfortable sandals.
Dude, I have so many clothes that I bought from Rivers. I'm such an old man. It's fucked. Anyway, so comes out that, I don't know, someone higher up in the company, or like someone who, models for them or whatever, or they promote for whatever reason, I don't know, has said wildly racist things in the past, made jokes that are just not okay now.
Just gross.
Equivalent of blackface or something.
Yeah, okay. Well, blackface is like the cardinal sin at this point. I think blackface is indefensible. That's your token. Bad. Yeah.
Something bad that, like, at the time might not have been too bad. Now it's like, oh, you can't say that. And then somebody who's, a rep for fucking Nike or whatever comes out and drags all this shit out and makes one big video, makes a big compilation of all the shit things that this Rivers dad model has said.
All the times this Rivers bloody sandals wearing bloke has thrown on blackface and gone
look at
to
this
Twitter.
Fucking idiot in his boat shoes.
Look at this asshole.
So then you're like, what? Who cares? Why should Rivers then drop him? Just, if you don't like the things that this guy says, don't shop at Rivers. Don't buy this stuff. Don't try and get Rivers to drop them. Don't try and get G Fuel if you can. Like, well, he made that connection though. Like, So
but I mean, the reason why they drop them is because people do make that connection. People say, okay, well, Rivers endorses this bloke, I'm not going to shop there. But you're saying that don't make that leap for them. Don't force Rivers' hand, for instance.
Well, it seemed like that's what happened. Ethan's like, he tied G Fuel as a brand to Keem really closely.
To be fair, G Fuel is closely tied to Keem. He talks about it being in all of his videos. He always wears a G Fuel hat. It's almost unavoidable in a lot of ways. Same way in that I think Nike is tied up with a lot of the NBA players, I think.
I wouldn't even know. I don't pay attention to that stuff.
I think it's Nike. I'm not sure. I know one particular provider has like a huge grasp over the NBA, and then I know, and I'm really rough with basketball, but I remember reading about this, and then I think it was Steph Curry made a deal with Under Armour because he went into the presentation meeting with Nike or whatever company it was, and they got his last name wrong. They like spelt it wrong. And so he was like, fuck this. And then he went and signed with Under Armour, and Under Armour's made millions on millions on millions.
Yeah.
Because one rep forgot to spell check the PowerPoint.
Whoops.
So, yeah, I know there's heaps of money involved in this sort of stuff. So it's interesting to see now with it's not even the approach that it's giving them bad press, and then as a result, like as collateral, sponsors may drop them. It's like directly approaching the sponsors and giving them flack for supporting this person. It's not like a flow-on effect. It's a direct attack.
I guess it's just like what it seems like is surely they have a team at G Fuel that kind of keeps track of what they're,
absolutely.
Sponsorship, everyone that they're sponsoring, what they're up to, what they're doing.
Yep.
They would have known all this shit already. Surely they would have known all of this stuff about Keem already. But because Ethan presented it in a way that absolutely trashed him and dragged G Fuel into it, because it's just how he did it. They didn't want to come out of that looking bad. So they just
I realize now that I probably maybe didn't explain it fully.
Go on.
But for those of you that didn't know, Ethan dropped this video I talked about before, Content Nuke, and it's derivative of these old videos that a creator called iDubbbz used to do called Content Cop. We basically exposes some, poor behavior of people in the past. Funnily enough, there was a Content Cop on Keemstar. Keemstar is another content creator, or I think his name's Daniel Keem, and he goes and runs a channel called DramaAlert, which is a news channel. For those of you watching the video version, you can see me do the air quotes, but for those doing the audio version, I'm really hitting these air quotes hard when I say news channel. All right. These are the same kind of air quotes when people will be like, hey, World Star Hip Hop is a news channel, or fucking TMZ is a news channel. These things are flying off the shelves right now. And he did this 30-minute video basically exposing Keemstar for a litany of terrible things that he'd done. He falsely accused a bloke of being a pedophile. He, run people into the ground with some accusations that weren't proven. There's an allegation that he provided a negative environment for Etika, which ultimately led or contributed towards his suicide. So lots of really, really terrible things. And it was all a big 30-minute video that was released. Yeah. Yeah. And even other creators like FouseyTube, he was saying that, it's this idea that the continual harassment and threats that come from Keemstar contribute to a horrible, horrible environment for people with issues with their mental health. And Keemstar is ordinarily dismissive of mental health issues, saying, oh, you're weak, get over it, just stop being sad. Which, strangely enough, is not as much paraphrasing as you think it might be, which is probably the worst thing.
Man, I wish I'd thought of that before. Does that work?
Yeah, does that work? Just stop being sad.
I can just stop whenever I like. Fuck.
Yeah, thought you were depressed. How about you just don't do that?
I guess something's gonna change your life. Just
exactly.
Stop. Just stop.
Yeah, man. Got coronavirus? Just stop. Just fucking just stop being sick. Just
amputated
don't do that.
left leg. Just have a leg.
Yeah. Wake up, sheeple. Cancer won't kill you. Just stop. So obviously you could tell what our opinion on that is, but
fucking
G Fuel was a very big sponsor of Keemstar. G Fuel being I suppose you'd refer to it as like an energy supplement of sorts. It's like these sports drinks that have like amino acids and B vitamins and stuff in it. I mean, Australians
it's kind of just
might
a bunch
recognize.
of caffeine.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, it reminds me a little bit of Hairy Lemon or Barocca. Like, obviously they're different.
Have you had it before?
I've not. I was always, growing up, my mum always used to give us like Barocca and stuff before we had like exams and whatnot.
I fucking hated Barocca.
Oh, dude, I can drink that shit without. You know how some people like put it in a small glass and they scull it after like when they got a hangover? I can put that in a tall glass and drink it. I'm great. I love the stuff. But yeah, it's sort of like, and it's called G Fuel because I think it was like originally like Gamer Fuel or something like that. It's targeted basically towards these kids who are like 17, 16, 15, and they're all playing Call of Duty and they want to press the trigger just a little bit faster.
Well, that sucks because I've got like fucking 6 or so different flavors in my cup.
Look, man,
and I'm 31.
Are you better at COD?
Am I better at COD? I don't know. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just something that you can have cold, and it's caffeine. I'll have it if it's too hot to have a coffee. That's really the only time I use it. If it's just that fucking hot that I can't be bothered having a proper coffee, then I'll have that. Or Rogue. Really, I stick to Rogue more than G Fuel, but I don't know. I have them both, and they're very fucking similar. G Fuel's just a bit chalky. That's all.
Yeah. So
weird chalky texture at the end.
For those of you that maybe aren't caught up, that's the deal. So a big creator called H3H3 did an expose video on Keemstar. Keemstar has been linked with G Fuel for a very long time, to the point where I think he has his own flavor.
He's had his own flavor for fucking ages.
Yes. So very, very long-term partnership. Now ceased. If you ask the internet at large, G Fuel dropped him. If you ask Keemstar walked away. So
Why would he walk away from that though?
Because he doesn't want them getting the hate that he's getting unjustly.
No,
James.
I don't think so.
Keemstar is ordinarily a very trustworthy gentleman, and I have to say, nothing is more important to him than the facts.
Yes, nothing's more important to him than other people not getting hate because of him.
As a fellow man that investigates accusations based upon evidence, I have to say that Keemstar's decision to label a man a pedophile with absolutely no proof other than a picture that looked like him was perfectly reasonable and not at all ethically irresponsible.
I'm going through their site right now, trying to see if I can find the cotton candy, because
I mean,
it was a good flavor, and I feel like they'd probably just it was down before it was missing from the site completely, but I feel like they'll just rebrand it and bring it back. Like they'll probably just pull him completely from it's not there. It's not there on the site at all.
So cotton candy's gone.
It's gone. The flavor is gone entirely. Like not just his picture is gone from it and his name and everything. It is not here at all to buy.
Wow. There you go.
Unless I'm missing something. No, it's not here.
Just gone.
Just gone completely.
Done. Bloody hell.
I feel like they'll bring it back. They'll rebrand everything. They'll have to take his name off it completely, and then they'll just bring it back.
Yeah. I don't think they repartner with him. Honestly,
you don't think?
No, I think that they probably stop it there. And then perhaps if they've got like a sister or a parent company, they might reach out to him that way. But I don't think they can now rejoin easily enough. I don't think there's a lot of scenarios where a brand will re-engage.
Well, have they actually announced that they've parted ways with him, or have they just taken everything down for now?
I think they've just taken it all down. But I think with this sort of media, you need an excuse to get these two guys back together. You'd need to have like Keemstar go to a bloody, a course to teach him about how not to be insensitive to mental health. Like, what's his name? FaZe, bloody the kid that looks like the thing
Jarvis.
from Lord of the Flies. No, not Jarvis. Jarvis was banned forever. The other kid.
Banned forever.
Jarvis is still banned. He's like he's some kid, and I say kid, but he probably makes way more money from playing Fortnite than I ever will. But he dropped an N-bomb like in a scrim, so FaZe was like, all right, and dragged his ass to sensitivity training. And so they like forced him to assumedly sit down with a counselor or watch a few PowerPoints or, answer a few BuzzFeed quizzes.
That's such bullshit.
And so he come back, he's like, I've now learnt to think before I speak. And I'm like,
fuck off. You're
16. No one's ever told you this. You can't.
I hate that that's where we are with that shit. Like,
What do you mean? Like, as in, you have to go to counselling to
No.
keep your job, or
That to keep your job? No, that we have to say N-word. Like, I think context really fucking important. If you're just saying it like Louis C.K. has, or like iDubbbz has, in a way that's like, you're not using it as an insult to someone. You're not using it. What do they say? In a derogatory.
Obviously, if you're on the bloody History Channel and some English bloke is reading a letter from bloody
it's gonna
some
be in
slave,
there.
and he's like, "Well, sir, I am merely a house N-bomb," and everyone's like, "That's it, cancel him."
Oh well,
Cancel him.
I'm just saying, like, we should be able to say the word without immediately being labelled a racist. Like, I'm not looking down on anyone.
Part of the trouble is, because a lot of this stuff is like used by Google and transcribed and stuff, if we say it, it's just going to obliterate the search results.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we still have to avoid it, but that's just because it's in a public forum. And it's not something I drop in regular conversation, by the way.
Neither do I.
This is not a great leap for me.
I just don't want to have to say N-word. It's just so stupid. It's exactly what Louis C.K. said, because then all you're doing is you're not saying it. You're getting away with saying it without saying it, because you're putting it in someone else's brain, because in their brain they go, oh, and then they say it internally, and then they feel shitty. They feel like they're doing something wrong because they thought the word. Like, that's how fucked it is.
I mean, the idea is like, you shouldn't have to say that at all. You shouldn't have to steer the conversation that way. And thankfully, the internet managed to teach a 16-year-old to behave himself, and he didn't bloody get himself into any more shit, which is good. I'm happy for him. He's probably not even 16, actually. I think he participates in tournaments, so he's got to be an adult. So he's probably like 18, 19. I don't know.
You say 16. Does he look that young? Is he like that much of a fucking...
Yeah. I'll look him up. He looks like Coconut Head from Ned's Declassified. Phase player sensitivity training. I'll get it. I'll just bring it up here. Well, do you want to talk about this Pokey Gundam business just while I'm looking for?
I mean, I can, but
article?
it's like, so it's a very similar situation. I guess in a way, Gundam attacked her source of income first, because he was making fun of simps. He was making fun of her simps. He was doing the same thing we did. Right. The guy who was like, hope she knows that I love and miss her. He was making fun of that guy the same as we were. Oh,
the same dude that was like 5 months behind on rent or something
four
like
months
that.
Or whatever, 4 weeks, whatever the fuck it was, and he was like talking about being at the back of Starbucks. Yeah, so he was making fun of that.
Yeah, probably a bit rough to say he looks like Coconut Head from Ned's Declassified. But you look at him, and it's a kid, right? It's plainly a kid. Yeah, like, you can't tell me that person is friggin', 20 years old.
Oh, fucking hell, dude.
Yeah.
Is he supposed to be 20?
I don't know how old he is. Let me have a look.
This guy looks like the 14-year-old that gets like 3 kills on you in Call of Duty, and then starts messaging you about how he's fucked your mum and your dad and your sister and everyone, just everyone you know, and your girlfriend, even if you don't have one.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. He's just immediately slept with every female member of your extended family tree.
I fucked your mum. I've got 2 dads. Did you fuck them both? Did you fucking sandwich yourself between them?
Yeah. Let's see. Old, year, age. Yeah, they haven't listed his age here.
He doesn't look very old.
He does not look very old.
What's his name? FaZe Dubs.
FaZe Dubs.
A name like Dubs.
He gets all those
Fucking
dubs,
hell.
man.
Fucking hell. I'm definitely old. I'm definitely getting old now, because I just hear all that shit and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm cringing so hard.
Big cringe. Righto, so Gundam made a video making fun of Pokemon simps.
Yeah, so he made fun of her simps.
Yeah.
She went and had a look, sort of, but not really, at the video, because what she said it was 20 minutes of him trashing her, talking shit about her or whatever. And that's not.
It was like 20 minutes of him calling somebody a thought or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. It wasn't that. It was he was making fun of simps, which. I mean,
Yeah, no, we're not saying that that's
you
what
know
the
my
video was.
stance on
This
that.
is just what she thought it was. Yeah,
Yeah, well, which she thought he was just trash talking her the whole fucking time, and he wasn't really. I don't.
He's
kind
probably
of
just making fun
but
of
not
the
really.
simps.
Yeah. Mostly he was just making fun of simps. I mean, he has trash thoughts all the time. He does it all the fucking time. But this particular video wasn't really that. Anyway,
let's be real. That is not out of Gundam's wheelhouse, right? That is,
no, of course,
that's
that's
square
most
inside
of the
Gundam's
reason
wheelhouse.
that I watch him because it's fucking funny.
Yeah. It's just on this particular occasion.
In this case, she was wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, instead of actually watching the video and commenting on it, she didn't even bother to do that. She just started attacking the sponsor, Ridge Wallet.
She said is that if these guys come to me, they're going to get declined so fast? Or
why would they
something
go
like
to
that?
her in the first place? Like they don't go for those kind of things. They sponsor where have I heard them? The Quartering as well. He's been sponsored by Ridge for fucking ages. I know that I've seen ads for them. On both
I saw
those
one
channels.
for
I don't
Dane
know where
Hearthstone. He had Ridge Wallet for a little while.
Yeah, but I
Ridge
mean,
Wallet's actually one of those. I'd say they're one of those medium to big sponsors. I think now the ones that I see the most are mobile games. They're pretty insane. But yeah, Ridge Wallet is definitely one of them.
They're kind of smaller channels. Like they're not as small as we are. We're basically non-existent compared to these channels. But
we don't even qualify as a micro influencer. By the way, have I talked to you about this before?
No, you haven't.
We're not even on a micro level. We're a nano influencer. So
the fuck does that
micro
mean?
influencer is determined by I think it's like they have multiple metrics for every platform, but for scale, a micro influencer is 5,000 followers on Instagram.
Okay.
So I am 1/50th of a micro influencer.
Jesus.
Oh, the joys. But yeah, in
So-
any event.
The reason I wanted to bring this up really is because instead of so he kind of made fun of some of her fan base, and what she did was go after one of his sponsors, really trash one of his sponsors live on stream instead of watching the video, because he's the way he came up with this was by looking at some of her content, looking at some of her simps. So he kind of chucked himself in and actually consumed some of the content and then made his video. She didn't bother to watch his video at all. She just, I don't know, I guess someone told her about it. Like, why would she be watching his shit in the first place? She didn't stumble across this herself. Someone told her about it. 100%.
Because that was one of the things I always get the impression with Gundam stuff is I think he used to be like a New York stand-up comic or something like that, or he tried to do it for a little while. And so his stuff is ordinarily relatively sort of thought out. Like he's done a little bit of research from what I've seen. Yeah. Because I remember watching one video where he was like, yeah, if you came in with this shit, you'd be laughed off stage or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember him talking about this sort of stuff. He's got some interesting stuff.
I remember you saying to me that you thought he was a bit extreme. I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think sometimes he plays it up. Yeah, just because it's, I don't know, because it's just for the sake of creating content.
Don't get it wrong. There are extreme examples. if you go up on YouTube, you can find extreme examples. It's not Gundam, right? Gundam is not the extreme. The internet's a weird and wonderful place, but he's definitely he's very full on for my branch.
I remember you saying that you're not really a fan.
I can do Gundam in small doses. He's definitely he's entertaining. But like I said, he plays it up, and so sometimes I'm like, okay, all right, you lose me a little bit there.
Nah, I got a video to show you that might actually convert you of his.
All right,
it's older.
I'll have a look at it.
That's all right. I'll send it after this. But so I think the only reason that that I felt this was worth talking about is because, as you have mentioned many times, Pokey is very well off. She's way up there. She's what, 5th overall on Twitch or something like that for views or fucking whatever. Like she's at the top. She's at the fucking top anyway.
She's somewhere at like 7th or 8th, I think. But I think she's the only female creator in the top 10. So
could be.
She is the biggest dog, and
she's big enough
that
that
might sound like an insult, but I don't mean that. She's
big enough that she shouldn't be worried about anything Gundam says anyway.
She could very easily just dismiss it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead, she decided to bring the video up on stream, but not actually watch it. So not try and understand what it was that he was actually saying. Mm-hmm. That maybe the way that she deals with some of her fans is potentially harmful to the fan base.
Yeah. Yeah.
She also
circle back to that.
A far smaller content creator, and instead of like attacking him directly or his content, she went after his source of income. And she's punching way down, like to do that. Like,
that's the thing. Punching down is such a difficult thing to do and get away with it, I think.
You have to be 100% in the right. If you're going to do that, you better be sure.
Yeah, you need to be. Not only do you need to be in the right. It needs to be immediately obvious that you're in the right to punch down successfully.
Yeah,
like if there's any sort of ambiguity, you're stuffed. Like it's very difficult to do that, I think, effectively. Your greatest power as a larger content creator, like punching down, is just not swinging at all. Is just letting them fizzle out. That's it. You know, you're the juggernaut that keeps going. But I want to circle back to that idea that it's like what is it, that she deals with her fans in a way that's not financially responsible.
Well, I mean, before we talk about that, do you want a cup of coffee that'll defend you against millionaires with fragile egos going after your source of income?
Well, do you want a coffee that will let you maintain a sponsorship agreement throughout a major controversy?
Oh, mate. Do you want a cup of coffee that'll bring Bruce and Lawrence back to Funhouse? It's never going to happen.
Never going to happen.
Fuck.
Sad. Do you want a coffee that will help you smite the angry garden gnomes that falsely accused you of being a pedophile?
Fucking hell.
Well, Killer Coffee won't do that, but it's a damn good cup of coffee, man.
I'm still waiting on my 1 kilo bag.
They've got a subscription service, by the way, so you can get it delivered frequently.
I mean, I told you that last week, so...
I know, and I went to set it up, and I did.
Are you telling me? Because
a little bit of both.
I'm going to be so pissed if you ordered your coffee way after me, and then yours turns up and I'm still fucking waiting.
Especially if I'm like, because you're closer to a capital city than I am. I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but I'm also on the other side of Australia, so
that's true. But yeah, Killer Coffee. Sponsored, but not sponsored. They don't actually sponsor us. One day we'll approach their rep, but until then, it's all just a meme.
Right now, we can't take the rejection, so...
That's it. We're too fragile. Our little egos.
Pretend. We're just going to fucking Carson our way through this and pretend that everything's fine. And
oh my God, poor Carson. I mean, I'll tell you what, he came out of this the winner. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I think
his viewership went through the roof. He's doing really well.
You know that Funhouse joke seems a bit out of nowhere. I got to start making the coffee jokes based on what shirt I'm wearing. Because I did the He-Man ones. And now I'm wearing this Funhouse shirt that I got a couple of years ago and then haven't been able to fit into since I got it. Because I was just too fat the whole time. Now I've lost like 22 kilos or something. So now this shirt fits and it's okay.
Jeez. Good on you.
Yeah, I'm like 96, 97 now.
There you go. Bringing it in. I'm definitely going outwards with coronavirus, not being able to go to the gym. I'm definitely packing it on. It's bulking season.
I'm not doing anything different activity-wise. I'm just fucking not eating as much. That's all. It's like, fuck this.
There you go. Yeah, so circling to this financially irresponsible way to dealing with the simps, we talked about this, I think, in an earlier podcast episode. We talked about this idea that are you responsible for making sure that your subs act in a financially responsible manner? Or I suppose financially safe is the better way to put it. And I had a conversation with the guy that edits my thumbnails and does the thumbnails for NULLSCORE, Scarlett. And he said, he brought it up and he said, when you talked about Pokimane in NULLSCORE last week, was this about the simps? Because we talked about Dr. K and Healthy Gamer GG and streamers going through therapy, not therapy on stream, right? And he says, because man, she got so mad this week at Papa Gundam. And I was like, no, it was about Dr. K. And I said, but yeah, this new thing's kind of wild. He says, thing is, Gundam wasn't even taking shots at Pokimane. It was the idea that people were putting themselves in bad financial positions to donate to her and was calling out people in that mindset. She took offense to that and got triggered and went about defending her simps. All the while, people kept donating to her, and then in brackets, even if they have to use the free Wi-Fi behind a Starbucks.
Yeah.
Bit hypocritical of her, considering she called out that other girl you talked about 2 weeks ago. And he's referring to Invader V, by the way, when he says that. And I said, well, I don't know if she actually defends the simps. I think that was a misnomer. She calls Gundam out for falling for an obvious bait and then goes and says that she would tell that sponsor to fuck off if they ever approached her. And then I said, but Gundam is right. He called out the simps, not Pokimane. She shouldn't have gone after the sponsor. She should have known that that would get taken out of context. Now, to give a little bit more explanation to that, Gundam calls out the people that support her, the simps. She goes after Gundam's sponsor. Part of the argument is, should she have laughed along with the simp barrage or whatever? But part of her thing was that the tweet that he reacted to is apparently an obvious bait, which went way over my head, your head, and Gundam's head.
No, When we brought it up on the podcast, I said, I'm pretty sure I said, I hope this is like a joke. Like, it's probably fake. I feel like somebody, but and you said the same thing as well. Like, it probably isn't real, but it's still funny.
Doesn't it scare you, the fact that we're still on that probably? Like, it's not like immediately this is fake. Like, there's a situation where this is potentially possible.
Because people like that exist.
We know that now. We know that now. Yeah, people like that exist.
So it could be real. I don't know, until the guy fucking puts himself out there and says, hey, yeah, no, this is me. I was 100% serious about this whole thing.
Yeah.
We can't know. It doesn't matter.
Then we got into this idea where I said, so he talks about more about, like, why didn't she take it in stride? And I said, look, yeah, she goofed it pretty hard. I'm more inclined to give her the benefit of the doubt in most scenarios nowadays because she's such an easy target. Like, she's such an easy scapegoat to, like, throw criticism at, that more often than not, I'm usually taking that not really at face value, and then I'll do some more digging, especially with Pokimane. And he says, but people of integrity will tell their audience that donating like that's not okay. Asmongold does. I did. He says, you did, right? Referring to me. Because I've said on stream, do not donate unless you're in a financially responsible position to do so. I had a Twitter clip that was like the biggest one for a long time, where I was like, don't donate. No matter how tig those biddies are, make sure that you can take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And then he says, she didn't give her audience a real talk. Otherwise, I would give her the benefit of the doubt. And that's kind of the funny thing, I think, is that I think, especially in his eyes, right? I know him as a mate. I've known him for years, right? So I don't think I'd be in this scenario anyway. But as a matter of the benefit of the doubt, having it out there and known that your position is do not donate unless you're in a position to do so, which is in stark contrast to this Invader V, Bad Bunny, I provide content, therefore you must pay for it because the content is valuable ideology. It's just a big contrast there. And now it bothers me that you have to separate those things. Like, I think I'm a firm believer in the idea that if your content is valuable, people will pay for it, right? Like, that's just it. Like, if your content is valuable, people will pay for it.
Well, that Kiwi
if people are not paying, Broxer,
fella?
He was fantastic, yeah. And I don't think it's a scenario where my content is valuable, I put a lot of effort into it, therefore people should pay for it. No. the amount that people pay for your content is exactly as a result of the quality of the content you're putting out, what the market wants, and how you monetize that. That is all controllable by you, right? You don't need to get in there and guilt people to giving you more money. You just need to just sell your shit in a different way.
Well,
right?
like you said, in the cases of the other two streamers that you mentioned, it might be that whole like the dudes who like being humiliated and stuff, you know. Or like
the financial kinks, the financial submissives. Yeah. That was a thing we talked about last week.
They might
People
enjoy having money demanded of them.
Yeah, like I mean, I suppose that's probably where this whole sugar daddy business comes from. They get a kick out of feeling like they're taking care of some younger girl or whatever. I know this because Invader V said that she looks up all of her donators on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
so she knows there are a lot of engineers from Silicon Valley that watch her.
You shouldn't fucking do that, man.
That's pretty weird, hey?
Yeah.
That's pretty odd. I mean, that's also one of the things that's oddly personal about streaming is people... Like, I mean, I talked about this all the time, and it's a concept I'm coming more and more to grips with nowadays because it's so weird. I think once you've been streaming for a while, you sort of forget, but most streamers don't run their content creation side of things like other content creators do. They run it more like a charity than a business. There's no other social media platform where people just hand you money. Like, that just doesn't happen, right? Like in YouTube, subscribing's free. You can be a member, but being a member provides you with benefits like, you know, badges, early access to videos, certain chat functions, comments are now separated for members. Like you stand out, right? You know, Patreon is a very specific rewards. I mean, unless you're just one of those people that's just like, you're a cool person, thumbs up. You know, you fucking whatever.
$1 tier or whatever.
Yeah, there's always
Thanks for the support. You get nothing.
Yeah, great. Cheers. Thumbs up, kiddo. I mean, you can't even just take a friggin' lazy selfie on a Monday morning to provide to your $1 tier. Like you don't. It doesn't even have to be like. It doesn't even have to be anything good. It's just at least you're providing something more than nothing. Like if it's shit content, then yeah, sure, maybe people will still pay for it. But like at least you're providing something, right? Like people will pay for what they think has value. If people aren't paying for it, then your perception or your value is not there. That's just the way that I see it. And I think more and more now I'm trying to shift the stuff that I create towards that focus. Not so much the idea that, you know, I want to wring more money out of people because I do this more as a hobby now. I haven't really pushed it as like a full-time career. But I think about the videos that I make sometimes as providing value to the community I'm in, right? So a good example is, you know, you play a heap of Tarkov, I play a heap of Legends of Runeterra, right? I have a lot of knowledge about Runeterra and you have a lot of knowledge about Tarkov that a lot of other people may not have. Putting that into a video format so that people can then consume that is valuable. That knowledge has a value to it. Right. And, you know, that's valuable content. I think if I just take my stream clips and, you know, it's all funny moments and I chop it together, then sure, it's entertainment value. But I think that more often than not, you want something of substance in there. I think you want people to get something out of it. And that's not to say that comedy is not valuable. I'm just trying to say from my perspective, the most valuable thing that I have from a content creation perspective is knowledge and humor, I guess, in equal parts, perhaps. So there's better things you can do. There's better things you can do than beg, and you shouldn't need to rely on simps to donate you absurd amounts of money.
Well, that's why I don't spend any time around like watching content creators like that. Like I'm probably going to join Gundam's Patreon after all this because I haven't. I'm not part of it. I never have been. The only two people that I'm supporting on Patreon are Verco because I really want his map to get finished.
Yep.
And Dick Masterson, because I watched the Dick Show. There's just, I think a lot of people I think so much of it is satirical comedy, and he delivers it. He delivers it so convincingly.
It's content you enjoy and you want to support.
Oh, this one was not what I'm trying to say. I think a lot of people are turned away from it because he delivers some of the things that he says. He says them, and it's so convincing that people think that he's legitimately this just absolute misogynistic piece of shit person.
Oh no!
But he isn't. He isn't that way. There's enough people that have come out and said, "Hey, like I've known this guy since college. He's not like that's a character. He's not like that at all."
Yeah. Oh, it's almost like the Filthy Frank thing when Twitter got all up in arms discovering that Joji is actually Filthy Frank.
Yeah, was that real? Were people serious? I don't know.
Yeah, no, people were like legitimately upset about Filthy Frank, and they were like, he needs to be cancelled. This is horrible.
No.
And then like people were literally like copying the description from his YouTube where it's like, Filthy Frank is the antithesis of everything good in a human. He is literally everything bad in a single package. And like copying it and sending it to these people on Twitter, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I don't care. It's like shouldn't even be like said, even if it's like a joke." And I was like, "You're having a giggle, man.
Like that's the point.
The point is to make fun of the things that are terrible, like to cheapen them. That's what you want."
One of the reasons that I really miss having Lawrence and Bruce on Funhouse, because Lawrence, Bruce, and James all used to make jokes like that, where they would say things that are obviously, like just obviously. Misogynistic or racist or whatever.
Yeah.
And the whole point is the joke's on the person who thinks that way. Like, obviously, that's not what they actually think. That's the point. If you think that way, you're a fucking moron. Like,
you're an idiot. That's what that's designed to do. It's to make that person look like a grub. Like I still think one of the funniest videos I watch is have you seen it? It's a YouTube clip. It's like 7 seconds long. It's just Jesus Christ, Bruce. And it's where he like talks about ponytails. Have you seen that?
No, I don't think so.
They're all recording, I think it's either GTA 5 or Red Dead or something. And he's like, God, look at that dirty ponytail. That's not how you get a guy. You don't want your hair in a ponytail. And his wife is behind him in her hair's in a ponytail.
That's James's wife, yeah.
James's wife.
Yeah, it was Elise.
Yeah.
She like grabs her ponytail.
And she's like, what? It's really good stuff. Really, really funny stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I stopped watching them as much, which sucks because like Adam and James are still funny, but I think they're just missing. When Bruce left, it took a huge hit. I think like it's that dynamic of those three guys. Like all the old Inside Gaming stuff was mostly them three, and the gameplay was just so good with James and Bruce talking shit behind Adam and making fun of him for just fucking things up in game. And that's kind of like they've got other guys who are funny there, but it's not the same. It's noticeably.
It's not the same, man.
I don't want to say worse because it's not bad, but it's like it's not as good, and you definitely notice it if you've watched enough of the old stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I think Gundam's not quite to that point. I think he does say some shit that's like obviously a joke.
Yeah,
but he kind of makes it obvious that he's joking afterwards. Like he's comes out and says it, whereas Dick doesn't do any of that. he just says shit.
You feel like you need to support him on Patreon.
No, I don't feel like I need to. The dude's a millionaire now, but I mean, I think he gained a lot of popularity off Maddox. You remember him?
Vaguely.
Alphabet of Manliness used to have the best webpage in the universe, or whatever it was called, for a long time. For years, he was posting shit there. Anyway, they had a podcast together for a long time, and then when it ended, it was very fucking messy. They both parted ways and started their own podcasts, and now Maddox kind of has faded off into this shriveled turd of what he used to be, just nothing. And Dick's doing really fucking well. So,
damn, there you go. Maddox shouldn't have gone anywhere, right?
I don't know. I think he just started to lose the plot maybe a bit. I don't know.
Maybe it's all just.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's tying back to like the content creators, tying back to Pokey's thing. I think what Scarlett said's right. she should have she should have said something along there like, look,
Yep.
I can see that this post is probably a joke, but I hope none of you guys put yourselves in positions like this to give me money because I'm fine. Like, don't just look after yourselves first.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly.
going
If
to
you
bring
want to
me
support
any
the
joy
content, you can support the content, but don't be like $5 a month is if you want to support $5 a month, fine.
She could have said something like, please, like, if I find out any of you guys are homeless because you've been giving money to me, I'm going to feel terrible, or blah, blah, like something. She could have said something.
Yeah.
Instead,
That
she's
would
just
be
like,
enough.
Ridge Wallet. Why would you
Yeah.
pay for a video like this? This slander, abuse.
Yeah. Like, even I think, maybe her tact would have been, hey, I know this is a joke and, Gundam, bit silly for you to think that this is probably real, right? And then, you can have your argument about whether that's, you're correct or not. But I think that's probably the easiest way to get out of that scot-free. And then say, if you guys donate like that, that's going to make me incredibly sad, right? That is appealing directly to the simps that she needs to appeal to, I think that's her get out of jail free card in that scenario.
Well, it would have been, but it's too late for that. Instead of focusing on that point, instead of focusing on the point he was trying to make, she focused on, he's saying mean things about me. I have to say something back.
There's also, and I don't think anybody would blame Pokey if, as a result of, Ridge Wallet sponsoring a video made about, where it's just talking crap about her Sims or whatever, she then, offline went to the offline TV people and were like, hey, I'd rather we don't accept any, money from Ridge Wallet. I'd rather we don't support them.
Yeah, instead of putting it on
and
stream.
then if they take that position, like, what the fuck are you going to do, right? Like, you sponsored a 20-minute video talking trash about, this person's community, then absolutely, like, they're probably not going to promote your content. I don't think anybody's going to cause a huge fuss about that. But I think taking money away from somebody else rather than the company, that's where it starts to get a bit iffy.
Yeah.
Like, if you if you put it in the company's hands as like, well, you made a bad sponsorship deal, screw you, then that's one way to do it. But I don't know.
But imagine coming out and saying, like, don't ever try to sponsor me because I don't want your money. It's like, all right, then. I mean,
well, we won't. Thanks for the heads up.
We weren't planning on it, but thanks for keep making things clear.
He's just the guy sitting at his desk watching Pokey Mainstream. He like takes it over his head. He's like, Mitchell, were we planning on sponsoring Pokey? No sponsorships for Pokey. Okay, so we're fine. Yeah, we're fine with this. Okay, yeah, cool. No worries.
Then that one simp in the fucking marketing department. No.
Yeah, Eugene from IT. He's like, oh, no.
Fuck.
Sitting there with his Starbucks cup from when he had to use the free Wi-Fi.
Found a
anyway.
fucking half full venti in the fucking bin, so you can just dug it out. It's still a bit warm.
Now, we almost have to have a short podcast today because you've got people coming over to look at the house, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know. He hasn't messaged yet, so we'll see.
Oh, okay. So he has a message to say that he's coming over?
No, that was yesterday. It said 9:30 is fine. It's not quite 9:30, so I don't know.
Oh,
Well, it's 9:30 now.
I mean,
it's just gone 9:30 as I said that.
I've kind of run out of gas, so I'm happy to wrap it up.
Have you? You're fucking done, mate. Oh, mate.
Well, we've burnt through the two topics, haven't we?
Yeah, I suppose. I don't want to drag them out like unnecessarily. So
yeah, no, I don't want to sit here and mull over the same points that we've been mulling over. I feel like it's better that I don't give you guys, the viewer, like 10 minutes of garbage.
I'm gonna read the comments this week. Fuck you.
Oh shit, that's right. We should do that.
Eyehole man, again.
Dude, shout out to Eyehole man. What a good bloke. What a good bloke.
It's crazy that he still comes to the YouTube videos instead of like doing the audio like everyone else does.
Dude, shout out to Knowles. Shout out to Eyehole man. Here we go.
Fuck.
So last week we talked about letting kids in your house.
Give me a second, dude.
You're back.
I am. I'm back. I'm seated.
Did the dude rock up?
He did. I was expecting like a message or something like, "Hey, I'm leaving now," or 5 minutes, or or even just like here. But instead, I just hear my door getting like fucking punched in. Fucking Jesus.
All right, well, comments from iHoleman. He says, yeah, don't let kids into your house. I have a hard enough time cleaning up after my 1-year-old. Don't look forward to her having tantrums. Well, she's pretty good on the computer. I even gave her my old membrane gaming keyboard. She knows how to use a mouse and everything. Except if I look away for a second, the mouse and mouse pad ended up on the floor. And now I just realized I'm raising my child to be a PC gamer.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. Listen.
It is a good thing.
Controllers are only good for platformers, racing games, and fighting games. That's it.
That's it. And you know what? We've learnt now that all the Fortnite prodigies are coming out when they're like 15, 14, 16 years old. So starting them really early, 1 year.
Yeah, that's actually
14
true.
year training, you be an esports pro in no time.
I thought I replied to that. I had a reply typed out at work. I must have got distracted and not fucking hit enter, I guess. Not send it through. I'm sorry, iHole man.
Rip iHole man. Oh, always a pleasure having you in the comments, man. In any event.
Robin, though. You missed Robin. Nice you.
Oh, Robin Cousins. It's nice to see you back. I missed you guys. Missed you too, buddy. I responded to that one. Said, missed you too, mate.
Mono also streams. I've seen him. He's always on at like weird times for me, so I can't watch him. But he's been. I've seen him streaming some Modern Warfare and Tarkov and stuff.
Good on him. Good on him.
If you guys are into Swedish accents.
If you're a fan of PewDiePie, he is just as good.
It's like
Did you see PewDiePie is ripped now, by the way?
Yeah, I saw that. It's fucking
that is
nutty.
Insane.
Yeah.
The dude has a cool dog, a crazy cool, very gorgeous wife, a great career, and he's ripped.
Now he's
ripped. Where's the joke? Where's the catch?
He got sick of probably his tiny.
That's it.
No, I'm not making jokes at Pew's expense like that.
In any event, if you guys want to catch the video version of the podcast, you can do it on YouTube. If you're listening to the audio versions on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all good audio platforms, you can also do it there. If you're moving around, you've got other things that you need to be doing, throw us on in the background. You can yell at us on Twitter at T1TAN_5150 or at Viscerus TV. Same thing for Twitch. Yeah, that's what you.
Is one of my things an underscore?
Yeah.
Oh, my Twitter, isn't it?
Yeah, your Twitter is.
Whoops.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
But yeah, on Twitch, you can also catch us at T1TAN5150 no underscore. Or Viscerus TV. Again, of course, there's also the YouTube, and you can yell at NULLSCORE on Twitter as well, and look at NULLSCORE on YouTube. So that's about all the places you can find us. Be sure to leave us a comment. Let us know if you want us to talk about anything in the future. If you want to add your voice to the conversation. Do you think people should be attacking sponsors? Do you think people should be leaving sponsors alone? Do you think they're free game? Do you think it's taboo? That about closes it out. James, is there anything else you need to reach out with?
Why do you keep calling me James today? What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
Is it because of your fucking intro where you called me
Jamil?
Whatever?
Now I got to go through the full Jame sound.
This is my co-host Jemima. You fucker.
This is my co-host Jeremiah.
You motherfucker.
All
Look
right.
what you've done.
Well, thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you guys next time.
Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.
Thanks
for listening. Spotify and fucking Google Podcasts and Apple whatever, and nobody's on Tidal. So
yeah, nobody's on Tidal. Well, Jay-Z's on Tidal, but
have you seen that picture that's like they're promoting Tidal and it's like hear the difference or whatever, and it's got these EQ bars. And like one's like grayed and it's kind of flatter, and then the next one's like on Tidal, and it's all colorful and like the EQ fucking things all over the place. All right, so Tidal is 5 gum. Yeah, Tidal is 5 gum. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just such a dumb fucking picture that would only trick morons. Like, it doesn't mean anything.